So we've had an opportunity to talk about the economics of camping. We've talked about some of the various things that campgrounds are responsible for. We've talked about sustainability in this camping industry and what needs to be done. But now I want to shift focus and talk about the responsibility of the camper and what some of your responsibilities are in this thing we call camping. So bear with me just for a second. I'm going to go ahead and cue everything up, and then we'll jump right into it.
When he speaks from the heart and tells it like it is, we call that unscripted. Welcome to Unscripted from Hanging with the Hazes.
All right. So, as much as we may not want to deal with it and talk about it, there is some responsibility that comes with the camper. And the camper has to understand that their responsibility for their actions and the things that they do aid in the sustainability of the hobby and the lifestyle, as well as makes sure that the places that we like to go are going to be there in 20 years. So let's talk a bit about responsibility of the camper and what you need to do to stay in that, responsible realm. Now, one of the things that you have to understand is that as a camper, you have a duty, and it is critical to minimize your impact on the environment and be considerate of other campers, okay? So let me just kind of clarify that a little bit. Yes, you are paying your $95 a night. We've already clarified that in the last several episodes. But in that $95, it does not give you carte blanche to do whatever you want to do. So you need to be considerate of the environment. If you drop something or you light a campfire, make sure you pick up what you drop and make sure you extinguish your fire and clean up the fire pit. Like, that's the least you could do. Because if somebody has to come back behind you and do that, that means somebody got to get paid. That's $20 now that the campground has to dedicate to cleaning up your mess, that you know who's going to end up paying for it? Everybody that comes behind you. One of the things that we prided ourselves on as scouting as scouts is that we leave no trace of us being there. So if there was something there when we got there, we made sure that we left our space better than it was when we got there, because that shows respect for the campground. It shows appreciation for them allowing us to come into their facility, enjoy wildlife and trails and the amenities. And it also shows that we have some self-worth and self-respect for us. So it is very important that you maintain that responsibility. If there are wildlife out there, if you don't like snakes, get out of this lifestyle. It's just what it is. If you're going to camp in the woods and you don't like snakes, you don't need to be camping. Leave them alone. It is not your responsibility to go out and harm wildlife. They are there for a reason. The reason that we don't have a rodent infestation is probably because of a snake. Leave them alone. If you stay out of their way, they're not going to come bothering you. Following park rules. Listen, rules are there to keep insurance claims down. Make sure that if they say it's a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit, make sure you run 5 miles an hour, no more. That's very simple. And that is up to and including bicycles and golf carts. You have a responsibility to pay attention to those things. Make sure that if they tell you you can only have 2 cars on your site, it's 2 cars, no more. It's real simple. No more. I don't understand why people have an issue with these basic rules. If You see an occupied campsite, make sure your children are not running through somebody else's campsite. Take control of your children. It's really simple. These are the type of things that keep incidents down. Walk through a campsite that's unoccupied. If it's occupied, simply walk around it. Or, better yet, introduce yourself and ask permission. And they might just say, hey, come grab a dog and a burger later, but sure, come on. Common sense common sense goes a long way. And I'm going to tell you, like Pauline used to tell us growing up, please and thank you will open more doors than anything. Please and thank you is more valuable than money. Learn how to keep noise levels down. If it's quiet time, then nothing that is going on in your site should be able to be heard outside of your site. It's just what it is. It's respect. Would you like me to wake you up at, midnight after you've been out in Disney parks all day with loud music, a party, and, throwing down with the fellas drinking and boozing and smoking cigarettes and another thing. Let's talk about this reefer whole situation. Marijuana is legal in 90% of the country, but if that skunk that you smoking can be smelled 3 and 4 campsites down the road, you need to extinguish that or take your hind parts outside that campground, do what you do and come back, because that's just not cool. It's not everybody is comfortable with that. And the same goes for, I would say cigars and cigarettes, but they aren't as pungent as, marijuana. So you need to be respectful. Vape it or put it in a pen, get some shake or something. But lighting raw flower in a campground can be obnoxious, and you need to keep that in mind. When you're on trails, yield to other pedestrians and bikers if you have to. Just be courteous. Respect people's privacy. That's really all you have to do. You are only responsible for your behavior. You can't worry about anybody else's. And if you worry about your behavior, then the likelihood of you not being expelled from a campground, it's very good. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. So you again need to have and take some responsibility for your space, your camping style. Be responsible for that. Make sure your gear is always well prepared. Make sure that you keep an eye on weather updates, because that's also part of being a responsible camper. Know the area's local everything, if you can, when it comes to weather. Know where the safe areas are for shelters. Make sure that if there is a storm approaching, you get your things up so that you're not causing insurance issues for other people. Stay away from lone trees, rocks, exposed places, ridge tops, streams, nothing like that when there's a thunderstorm, because if you do your part, that means somebody don't have to come looking for you, to find you, to figure out where you are or be worried about you. That takes time away from real emergencies that could potentially come up. Set up your camp before dark at all possible. These little things, you'd be amazed, prevent you from creating a disturbance or having an issue for yourself down the road. We've already talked about, make sure that you leave no trace. Nobody should ever know that you were there camping, other than the fact that maybe you have a tire print. The things that you can control, do that. I promise you, if you do that, life for you in camping is going to be sustainable. It's going to provide many, many years of enjoyment, and you're not going to be a nuisance to somebody else, because nobody wants to be labeled a nuisance camper. I know a few, it's not good. It is just not good in the camping community. That being said, I just want to thank you so much for listening to me. Make sure you follow us. All right. Make sure you follow us. YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, all of those. We have a presence there. We want to hear from you. Make sure, you reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and send this over to my main man, Funky Skunk. And as I always say, I'm out of here.
Be sure to join us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and you can always catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Hanging with the Hazes.